Hello, everyone. 100 years ago, everybody was living in their own countries, in their own little worlds, going through life with their ups and downs and just accepting things as they are. Now, 75 years, we've got the mobile, we've got computers, technology, and the world has shrunk because now we can see what is going on all the way around the world, how people are living, how people are being treated, our everyday lives. And what this has brought about is a dissatisfaction of life. It seems as we progress, are we really progressing? About 30 years ago, we saw an emergence of a wellness, a fitness society, where we started to look at our health, how we're living, the things we eat, what was inside them. People are becoming more and more aware of themselves and what life is all about and asking questions of what is life about. And with the new emergence of the wellness also came different modalities of the fitness, of looking at yoga, self-healing, spiritual healing, mind, body, spirit per se, has really taken off in the last 15, 20 years. And this is because we as humans are looking deeper into life. What is life about? Who we are. And as this is rearing its head, we are seeing so much more about people not happy and looking about life and how to go about life and how we can create a better life for ourselves. I myself did a video a couple of weeks ago regarding my spiritual journey. And today I am speaking with Yanni, who is a mind, body, spirit coach. Another one of our lovely humans who's also going through transformation, growing up as a Greek Cypriot Orthodox and yet changing because of an inner awareness, an inner calling, which a lot of us are now adhering to. And it can be a difficult journey. So welcome, Yanni. Thank you for coming along today and speaking to us and sharing to us about your spiritual journey, because life is changing for a lot of us all over the world. We are looking deeper now and asking questions and are not accepting things. And we are now talking more about spirit, the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, and raising our consciousness, because we on earth and humankind realize we can't keep on living like this. So there is a wellspring of awareness. So I'd like you to share with us your journey and how you started.
Thank you, Zenzi, for having me on. Hello, everybody. Yes, my name is Yanni, and my journey from where I am now began when I was a young child and growing up in an environment mainly of a negative energy of anger, sadness, and fear. This was from my father. He was coming home and story was just womanizing and just never respected my mother, and always coming home and expecting things and just living in that emotional anger, sadness, and fear. My main love that I received was from my mother when I was young. So growing up as a child and then into my adulthood, then this got installed into my subconscious mind of fear, anger, and sadness. And this was creating a major impact on my adult life. I was unaware because everything was stored in my subconscious mind, and all my decisions and choices were made via these emotions because I was raised in that environment. So I never really had that impact of pushing myself forward, or again, the only love I really received was from my mother. So it was quite challenging growing up as an adult. I was always stuck in a belief, and then I had to retrain and change myself, and this became active when I was, I suppose, 30 years old. At 28, I did massage and reflexology, then became a Reiki master. So I started learning more about energies. And at 30 years old, I was introduced to The Secret, the DVD, where it teaches you all about positive thinking, where I never really knew much about positive thinking growing up because I was never really in that environment of positive energy or what it really meant. So for me to read that you can actually create your positivity within your thoughts and your feelings, I was, wow, this was fantastic for me. So over time, I then eventually grew within more spirituality and started evolving, reading more books, and also watching YouTube, watching all the greats out there, you know, the Tony Robbins, the Wayne Dyers, all these spiritual teachers, Louise Hay, and just picking up different things from books and YouTube videos, and was becoming more aware, more open within myself. So I started using the law of attraction within my life and started using the feelings of creating thoughts and emotions, how you can change your life and just change your mindset. So it was quite challenging growing up, but then eventually I got there, and I suppose a couple of years ago, got introduced to the Hawaiian clearing method of Ho'oponopono, where I read a book called Zero Limits, and that's by Dr. Joe Vitale. And that was the next step of my awakening, because I found the clearing method, clearing the subconscious mind by using a 4-word phrase of I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, just reprogrammed my subconscious mind. And this was probably the biggest shift within my subconscious mind and my life within me as well. I just felt amazing, just deleting all the memories growing up as a child, all the emotions I was holding as an adult, and then became a qualified teacher in Ho'oponopono because I found it amazing. So kind of giving it back now to the universe. And this is where I've created a 7-step clearing the mind program, transformation, to get people to reprogram their subconscious beliefs and minds growing up from this life, past life, ancestors, so they can create the best life possible that we have been given to use in this lifetime. So yeah, this is my journey where I'm at now.
Very good. Now you touched on and you spoke about Ho'oponopono. You spoke about how that's really helped to shift things within your mind.
That's correct.
Because I know that you realize that unless you shift things within your mind so that you can think in a different way, you don't progress.
Correct.
And listening to you as growing up as a child, there was a lot of anger there. There was a lot of things you were carrying. And I'm kind of really proud of you that you had to find your way through. But what made you, was there something inside that drove you towards looking at these different modalities and looking at Louise Hay and all these different things? Was there something that tipped you towards that when you were younger?
Yeah, just growing up as an adult, I was always blaming other people and never really looked at the responsibility of my life, that everything was in me and I'm responsible for everything that comes into my life. I was always blaming everyone, family members, that my life was the way it was, always wanting more and expecting more and blaming everyone else except me, because I never really understood that everything was in me until I found that when you change your positive thinking and become positive, and then over time when I started reading more and more into spirituality, then you find out that everything is in you and everything is your reflection in your life, so you're responsible to change your own life. And then I just got deeper and deeper into spirituality and just found that everything is in me and I'm the only person that can change anything within the outer experience of my life, is by changing the inner experience of me.
Yeah.
So,
and this is very much a case where I'm always encouraging people. And sometimes people find it very hard to accept that everything is within them, and that you create these things and you have to change them. I mean, in your case, it was just growing up and being in that kind of environment, and that anger within inside you, and in somehow something inside pushed you to go into another direction. Correct. Which you found really resonated with yourself. And this is a journey that a lot of us are taking today, that everything is inside of us, and there is that little voice. And I think you found there was something that was pushing you, nothing particular, but that was saying to you, there's another way. There's another way. And a lot of people are going through this, and we need to bring it out more. But it is a way that people are now so dissatisfied, and there is this emergence of this force within that's now rearing itself and speaking to us and saying there's another way, and people are listening to this more. And it's people like yourself now that's gone through so much that people can identify with your journey, and you can encourage them, which I know you do, that they can do it. And it's like myself continually asking questions. It can be done. You've worked with many people. What do you find is probably the hardest thing for people to realize when you are working with them, in order to change their mind and change how they perceive things?
It's understanding the reprogram of the subconscious mind. It's a habit that people get stuck within their own habits, and they're unaware that they need to clean the subconscious mind and delete the memories, because the memories are replaying. We have 11 million memories replaying per second, and 95% of your life is run by your subconscious mind. So people need to be aware of the power of the subconscious mind and know that you have to change within, but you have to transform yourself and want to change. And it needs to become a habit, and people need to constantly just focus and just do what they need to do. Otherwise, what happens is the reprogramming will go back again. The old habits will reoccur. Unless you clean the memory, then you're just going to be repeating the same cycle of life over and over again.
And that memory, I don't think people realize that the memory, the brain, is really like a computer that holds information.
That's correct.
And we are programmed, and those programs have to be changed. And when we go to change those programs, sometimes they don't want to be changed. And that's why we have to continue over and over and over again, be very much aware of ourselves, what we say to ourselves, the language we speak to ourselves, and how we react to others. We have to be aware of ourselves. And you said so earlier in your talk that it's very much everything is in us.
That's correct.
It's not about the other person. It's about us and how we must take charge of our actions. A lot of people think or busy trying to change other people. And do you find that in your work?
Yeah, I see that with a lot of people. They want answers, they want the results. However, they're always wanting someone else to change instead of understanding that they have to change. And people find it quite challenging to grasp that you are 100% responsible for everything that comes into your life. So everything is in you and you have to change. So I found that one of the biggest challenges, that people always want other people to change, and they expect that when that person changes, they will change, but everything is in you.
Yes, people have to come to the realization that nobody else can make them happy except themselves. Unless they're happy, unless they love themselves, unless they respect themselves, they cannot expect somebody else to love them, to respect them, and to care for them. And it starts with us. It starts with us. If we do not expect that of ourselves, and if we do not treat ourselves in that way, we cannot expect others to do so. And when they don't, we're always blaming somebody else.
That's right.
And what do you also find in your work when people do listen? What are the things they come back to you saying that they find difficulty in?
Probably the habit of change and keeping to the habit of change. A lot of people expect quick results. Most people come with a solution. They want a solution for a particular reason, like peace of mind, or they want to attract something in their life, and they're expecting quick results without realizing that it's a life journey. What you learn, spiritually, you have to learn and follow it for the rest of your life. Because you might get the quick result quickly and then you go back to your old habits. So you have to continue following on the belief that it's going to be a lifelong change within you. And you have to want it as well. People need to have the desire. A lot of people just come and they think, okay, yeah, can you help me with this? But you need to have that desire within you that you really, really want to change. Instead of just wanting it for a quick fix, it's a lifelong journey.
Yeah. And I think the operative word there, as you've just said, the desire, because you need to have the desire to do anything. It's you need to really want to have that change. But more so, I think people need to love themselves more. And only when they love themselves more and realize that they're worthy. And I think that's another thing too. Do you find when you're working with people, not only it's the desire, sometimes they have the desire depending on what level, but sometimes they don't think they're worthy.
That's right. I found when I was growing up, I found it quite challenging to say love and looking in the mirror. When someone said to me, look in the mirror and say, love yourself, I was kind of, oh, hold on. And I find that with a lot of people now, when I use the mantra in Ho'oponopono, and to tell yourself that I love you is part of one of the 4 words. And people, I find that they say it's quite challenging to say I love you. Just use the 3 words. They find it quite challenging just to say I love you within. And that's one of the biggest challenges, is finding inner love and feeling it as well. You've got to feel the words, you've got to feel the emotions of love as well. So you've got to say it, but you've got to feel it at the same time. And that's what I found quite challenging.
Yeah,
with people.
You're quite right there. We use I love you, I would say about 100 years ago or so, people wouldn't use that word I love you so casually. It really meant something if you told somebody I love you. It was like your word is your bond. Now it's used quite casually, just to get whatever people want to get, or just to massage somebody's ego.
Yeah.
But that word I love you is so very important. And when we realize that universal life force of which we're part of, and which we've become disconnected from, and that's why we're going through all these emotions, all the pain, all the hurt, because we've become disconnected. But when you look and understand what the universal life force, God, mystic law, the light, whatever name you want to give it, the core of it, the essence of it, and its wholeness is love. And therefore, if we do not love ourselves, which we've shown that it's not that we don't love ourselves, it's because we've become disconnected. When we start to use that word, I love you, and as you said, when they've tried to use it, look in the mirror, it's like, and when you as a young boy, it was like, whoa, because that word is so very important. And that word is actually the word that links the whole of the universe and life itself. Because when you do love, genuinely love, you can't create pain. You can't create hurt. You can't create disappointment. And it is this basis of loving yourself, and then learning to love yourself before then you can love others. And I can clearly see through your childhood coming up, this lack of love brought so much pain.
Always, yeah.
How did you find, when you first were shown and told about using this mantra, I love you, how did you feel?
I started to get used to it. Again, I was using the words, but over time, then I started feeling the emotions, and it became a habit. So it's changing the habit within you, changing your habits within your mind to fit in.
But when you first started to use it, how did you feel? Can you remember those first probably few days? Was it easy for you? Was it shocking? Was it
took time to get used to say I love you.
Or?
Yeah. Took time to get used to say I love you, because it was again, it was finding that wow, I love you feeling. It's like, okay, so
because you had to feel it.
That's correct. Yeah, but it took time.
And you couldn't feel it
at the beginning. No, it was just the words that I was saying more than actually feeling the words I love you. So it was more just saying it more than actually feeling the emotions of love and the true meaning of the power of the words.
How long did it take you to actually turn that point where you started to feel that?
Took me a couple of months. Yeah, it probably took me a couple of months, and I started realizing and thinking, wow, yeah, this is quite powerful. Within the first week, I had a shift in my subconscious mind by using the mantra. However, within a couple of months, I really felt the shift within me, and felt the emotions and just felt the love, because when you realize that you are 100% responsible and everyone is your reflection, then you see things in a different way, because you see that everyone is you. So if you see a negative in someone, then it's in you. So then you think, oh, hold on, I need to get back to that oneness within me of love. So,
and it's also, that's a very difficult thing as well, when you realize that everything that's in your sphere and around you, you have attracted it or created it. That I know was like, wow, really? And I know when I've worked with people, it's a hard thing to actually come to terms with when you are facing maybe abusive relationship, and in your case, having then to look back at your father and thinking, how did I attract that? But that comes with understanding that life is eternal. Sure. And we come back for different reasons, and we come back because we have to learn, we have to understand, and we are creators, and therefore whatever we have created, we have to experience. So all these things as well is, I find it's hard for people to understand. And I think you found that too with your own clients.
That's right, yeah. They find it quite challenging to accept responsibility, that everything within their life. And yeah, so at the beginning within me, I found that quite challenging to accept. And once I got more deeper into it, then I understand. So I'm kind of fully aware of everything that is around me, everyone that comes into my life. I understand the whole concept of it now. So this is why I understand that everything is in me, and so I am responsible. So once you get to that stage, then you see life in a different way.
That's right. And that's very interesting, you do, because when you start to accept those laws of life that you attract, because if you're constantly thinking negative, constantly thinking things not good about a person, which is a reflection of what's in you, when you can understand that and you start to work on it, which is not easy, as you said, it's very difficult, but it's your desire and your determination, you then do start to view things and look at things differently and from different angles, and therefore your reactions also change. Correct. Because as you said, it's to do with the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, what is stored in there. And when you change it, your views actually change. That's and your right. actions. And with that, with a mind change, transform your mind, that's recreate right. your future, as I say. You look at things differently, you act differently, and therefore your surroundings also you attract things in a different way.
That's right.
And different things. Yanni, is there any last thing before we end this interview, and thank you so much, that you can probably give the viewer some advice on their spiritual journey and what to look for, and probably some words of strength?
Sure. I'd probably say if you've got a desire and you want to change, you need to believe in yourself. You need to follow your path and your journey and just stick to it, and things will change. And just keep doing it over and over again. Create a new habit within you, and you'll see changes within you. You'll see the changes happen within you and on the outer as well.
Yeah. Yanni, thank you very much. And I would just like to say to everybody, onwards from what Yanni has said, yes, you need to stick to it. You need to listen to that inner voice, but also it does take courage, because we're living in a time when there are some people who are not following what you want, understanding what you want, understanding how you feel. Don't be swayed by it. Listen to that inner voice, find your own path. You will attract the people around you that will encourage you and help you. But the greatest thing is your desire. And we're all here to change our consciousness. Yanni, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Take care.